Well, today is Friday, last day of June. So tomorrow we have Canada Day, July 1st. And of course, this is a long weekend in US. I was just watching news about this being the busiest day in the States in terms of flights, when people are flying away for the long weekend. And it's been a crazy day for me. So first off, I started, this is Friday, right? So it's the last day of week 5 of my professional wrestler marathon/marathon runner training, couch to 5K. And I was really nervous about this because, Monday I did 5 minutes run, 3-minute walk, like repeat two and a half times. And then Wednesday I did 8-minute run, 5-minute walk, repeat 2 times. And that was already getting difficult. Again, because I'm 61, last time I ran it was like probably 30 years ago. But today, on the menu, so to say, you see this? 20 minutes. I'm supposed to run, jog, like speed does not matter, but jog for 20 minutes without stopping and with no walk. And I did it. Like I think I had like tears in my eyes when I reached 10. I had my stopwatch with me, and of course 8 minutes was the longest I ran in this program so far. And when I saw the stopwatch showing 10 and I'm still chugging along, I'm not out of breath, I was so happy. And then I basically turned around, I did a big loop and I stopped at 20 minutes. Man, I was sweating probably for, 30 minutes after I came in, because it's, I'm too cheap for AC, and inside the room it's like plus 25 Celsius, But I'm grateful that I'm on the first floor, and most of the day the sun is not shining in my window because I'm facing north, so the sun is just kind of like moving, above the roof. And then while I was cooling down, I went online because I got my first property tax notice. And today was the last day when I can pay the property tax. And what's interesting is that I have this 1-bedroom apartment. I don't know, what is it, like 530 square feet, 550, something like that. Just basically living room, bedroom, and kitchen is part of the living room. Like, I don't own any land, right? Well, I'm guessing the condo, like everybody owns a share. But I mean, why am I even paying the property tax? But imagine this. So Alberta, Canada, right? So I bought this apartment for 179,000 Canadian with probably 25% down in October last year. And so small apartment, Northeast Calgary, the property tax that I had to pay today was $920 Canadian, 920. So probably roughly $750 US. So that's like once a year. And so I did that, then I took a shower, and then yesterday I sold something on Gunpost. Like you cannot sell anything related to firearms on regular online websites, like in Canada, Kijiji or Craigslist in the States. You have to use a special website. In Canada, it's Gunpost, gunpost.ca. And I've been basically having a problem with my Ruger. I couldn't understand why I was enjoying Mossberg more than Ruger. And at one point, I was even ready to sell the Ruger 6.5 cm, bolt action. But it's a great little toy, It shoots it's like a nail driver, And then I realized that it's not the actual rifle, it's the scope. Because I'm left eye dominant, right? I'm shooting like this. So when with a shotgun, what I did is I bought a red dot and I set it up really high, and I moved it all the way to the front of the peak rail. And so when I'm shooting, I'm right-handed, but I'm left eye dominant. So I put the shotgun like this, but I can tilt my head and I can still see to the red dot with my left eye. And for me, that's much more comfortable than, doing this. But that's what I have to do with the rifle, because the scope is basically, it's also tall, but it's too close to the eye, right? Because it's so long. And so it's too close to the eye, so I cannot use my left eye. So I have to shoot like this. And, when one of your eyes is, dominant, it's not comfortable. And some people say that it might be better just to shoot from the left shoulder using, kind of like left-handed, but that's even more nuts, And so what I decided to do is I decided to keep everything, keep the Ruger, keep the Mossberg, and now I have this, what is this, Charles Daly, right? I'm gonna try that one this weekend, Sunday. I got some ammo. And so what I decided to do is I'm keeping all the toys, but I'm selling the scope, and I want to order the same red dot that I have on the Mossberg, but put it on the Ruger, because I'm not shooting like a mile away, kilometer away like I thought I would, Like on the public land where I'm going, when I was talking to that Irish guy or UK guy, he said that his targets, that's like the longest section over there, he said they were like, what did he say, 270 yards, so basically 250 meters. And I read online that red dot sights can be good for up to 500 yards, depending of course on the size. And now I know that, like the red dot I have, this Holosun 403 on my shotgun, the dot is 2 MOA. And I had no idea what that meant, but now I know that that's the size of the dot, right? So you can actually pay more money and get like 4 MOA, and then the dot becomes, much bigger, and then you can shoot further, but it's just way more money. So this morning I went online back to the store where I purchased the Mossberg in winter of 22, and I ordered exactly the same Holosun red dot. And so yesterday I was messaging the guy in Quebec who wanted to buy my scope, and at first, there were a couple of offers for a trade-in. I said, guys, sorry, no trade-ins, because they were offering me to trade in my scope for another scope. Like, what's the point, I said, no, cash only. And so this guy from Quebec says, okay, here's my phone number, please send me your email address and I'll pay you with Interac email transfer. Okay, because that's the most popular way of paying somebody in Canada, right? So I don't know if you guys have it in the States, but here, I mentioned this before, so all you need, like if I want to pay somebody in Canada, all I need to know is their email address and full name. And that's it. Then they receive a little notice in the email saying that, there'll be a bunch of logos there for all our banks. And it'll say, to deposit, click on the logo of your bank. And then you basically sign into your online account and you click deposit. But you can also set up auto deposit, and that's what I did. Like one of my email addresses is hooked up to this auto deposit at my main bank. And so I said, yeah, please do not send money to my cell number, just because it's also possible. I said, no, I only do this with my email address. And he sent it like 10 o'clock my time, which is midnight in Quebec. I don't know, we're messaging and he sends me his address. And so I got the money. I checked at 7 a.m. Sure enough, it shows deposit from this guy's name, Interac email transfer. So I sent him a message. I said, money received, going to the UPS store, will ship by UPS, you should get it Monday. And so I went to the UPS store, paid them a bit extra for packaging this, nice little scope. It was a Vortex scope. I think it cost me $50 Canadian, and he says because of the Canada Day, they're not gonna get it Monday. So he says it's either Tuesday for $70 or Wednesday for 50. I said, shoot, let's do Wednesday. And so then I took a picture of the receipt with the tracking number, sent it to the guy. I said, because of Canada Day, delivery will be Wednesday. And I also sent him manual. Like there was no manual with the scope. I just sent him the PDF copy I had on my computer, kind of like as a courtesy. And so yeah, I love this, gun post. Gun post in Canada is great, and then people can leave you reviews, and so you kind of like assemble your kind of like a credit history, right? Because nobody will want to deal with you if you are dishonest, or you just, let's say this guy sends me this $450 and I just keep it and I don't ship him the product, then of course it'll trigger a negative review, right? Hey, paid the money, never got the product, right? So then nobody will want to work with me. And so yeah, shipped the scope, ordered the red dot, so it's coming probably sometime next week. And I will still need something for the Charles Daly, because that one has only regular optical sights, which I'm not a big fan of. So anyway, so then I drove over to Starbucks, and there's like too many people inside. It's like crazy. So I grabbed the Grande Americano, drove back home, checked an employment website, see if there's any part-time jobs for photographers or videographers. Last week I saw a part-time job for food photographers, and they said we're gonna teach you, like you don't have to be a professional food photographer, but basically what they were doing is they have some kind of a in with all these delivery companies, right? Like over here we have Uber Eats, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and what's the other one? I think those are the main ones. And basically they tell you where to go and take pictures of that particular restaurant of the food, items. And they said all we need at least one photo of a food item in your portfolio. And so I was at the Indian restaurant the other day, and I just took a picture with my phone and I uploaded to my online portfolio. It took a couple of days for that photo to be processed, so now it shows on my online portfolio, except I go to that Indeed work website, and those guys disappeared. I'm guessing they already hired everybody they wanted to hire. And so yeah, so since I haven't been making a lot of money with this freight brokerage thing, I found I found like a side gig that I can do, in the evenings and on the weekends, and make a couple of bucks. So I went to the website of that company and I started doing the, registration process. Then at one point they asked me for some kind of a couple of documents. I had to drive over to the DOT office or registry to get that document. And so now we're waiting. They said they need like 1 or 2 days to process everything. And then on the work front, yesterday when I was checking my mail, I was surprised to see a machinery magazine, like where people put ads when they want to sell and buy machinery, US, Canada, and some of those ads had email addresses, with direct contact name, let's say like Ryan, abcmachinery.com, not some BS email like info@abcmachinery.com. Those never go anywhere. But where you see the name in the front, that's like it was super nice. And so I started emailing them, just basic kind of like introduction email. Hey, my name is so and so. I work with this company. We have access to dozens of trucks. Basically, I work mostly with open deck. So now I add flatbed step deck, not just RGN. I said flatbed step deck RGN. So if you need any help getting trucks in Canada or US, I'll be happy to help. And then of course I have all my phone numbers, stuff like that. And I send out maybe 20-25 emails, kind of like using these personalized email addresses. And I got one answer, and the guy says, oh, I'm already working with, let's call him Bob. I'm already working with Bob, basically, from my company, from my logistics company. And so kind of like as a attempt at humor, I forwarded that message to to my boss, or the guy, the agent I work under is a sub-agent. And I said, check this out. I said, I sent out 25 emails, got one response, and this guy's already working with somebody at our company. And to my surprise, that triggered kind of like an angry email, 5 pages long, describing the heart attack symptoms. I'm guessing he almost had a heart attack, and it's like very official, even though like we are kind of like buddies, right? His email is like very official and saying that I cannot do this. So basically, for me to send out these random emails, from now on, I have to compile a list. So let's say I compile a list of 50 companies I want to email. So then I have to give this list to our client care, to the corporate office, and they're gonna check that list against our TMS to see if there's anybody's working with any of these companies, right? So let's say 2 companies, I'm guessing, I already taken, right? So then I cannot email them, right? So now we have 48. And then they said, okay, now you can email them, but before you do that, you have to set up an account for each company in our TMS. So you know how long that takes, with no guarantee that they will even respond to me, but basically they want me to set up an account for each of these 48 prospects, right? And then they will assign me as the agent to these companies. And of course, again, I have no idea if they will even read my email, right? And so basically, I cannot do this. All because I work for this huge logistics company with a lot of rules and a lot of regulations and a lot of restrictions. So since I'm the agent under their umbrella, I have to follow these rules. And so screw that. So I'm not doing any random emails anymore. And so yeah, now maybe next week, I'm thinking next week I'm starting this kind of like part-time evening gig, trying to make a couple of bucks just to pay for my car, pay for my apartment, stuff like that. Basically stay afloat, and we'll go from there. Oh, and actually I also got an inquiry about my photography services, because I also advertise photography, video, especially for social media, because I can do that like with my eyes closed. And one lady was texting me, she wanted some headshots for her Instagram. Okay. And she tells me where she's located, and she's like downtown Calgary, which is like 35 clicks from me. And I said, okay, what's the budget? How much do you want to pay? And she said, well, I was thinking $50. Canadian, of course. And I said, hey, you are 35 clicks away. For me, that's like, 40 minutes driving if it's heavy traffic. Maybe 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back, and then let's say a couple of hours shooting. So that's like 3 hours, right? So I said, can we do $75? But I said, I'll just give you a USB stick with the pictures. I'm not big on editing. I can do some mild color correction, but I don't do Photoshop. I don't do Lightroom, stuff like that. And she says, yeah, that's fine. And I said, okay, send me the, date and place and time where you want to meet, because she was saying something about Chinatown, downtown. So maybe we can go and, you know, do some nice, you know, sexy pictures for Instagram. Why not? I have a nice camera. I'm good at this. I'm good at photography. But then she disappeared. She disappeared. She was saying July 5th. I said, yeah, I'm available. Just give me the time, date, and place, and I'll be there for $75. And then another thing still coming up is last month, somebody also saw my ad online about photography services, and we agreed on $200 a day, and they want to use me for 2 days, on July 11th and 13th. So I'm gonna make $400 Canadian, man. Basically just shooting some, you know, portraits. There's some kind of a party for corporate sponsors of this organization. There'll be this, there'll be a dinner, there'll be a dance, and they just want some, you know, informal pictures from this event. I said, cool, I'll do it. And she says, well, we cannot pay too much. Our budget is only $200 a day. I said, hey, that's fine, you know, because I never did this before when somebody hired me, you know. But I sent her links to my online portfolio, you know, my Alami and my Pixels websites. And she said she was happy. She said, okay, sure. So that's one thing hopefully I'm doing in July. It would be cool if I could get these gigs, you know, on a regular basis, because, you know, even $200 a day, but doing something that you love, you know, that's not a job, right? That's like a hobby, you know, and people pay you for this. They'll be awesome. And of course, I still make money on YouTube. Not too much. Earnings really dropped down by probably, I don't know, 75% compared to when I was a trucker. Because there's much less views, much fewer views, whereas before, in 28 days, my channel was getting about 400,000 views. Now I'm getting about 100,000. So it dropped by, like I said, like more than 2/3. And so of course that affected my income on YouTube, but I'm still getting money. So it pretty much pays for my mortgage. So my mortgage is free thanks to YouTube. Thank you to everybody who's watching my videos. And then the plans for the weekend. So Saturday. So today I did lots of running, right? I consider that a lot, 20 minutes. And so Saturday I'm still want to go, even though the air is not too good because of all these crazy fires, but I found a nice trail in Fish Park, pretty much downtown Calgary there. And I'm gonna grab my Nordic poles, and it's like 5 clicks one way, 5 clicks back, so 10 kilometers, roughly 6 miles. We're gonna do that. And then Sunday I'm going shooting, testing my new gun, Charles Daly 12 gauge semi-auto. I'm going to my gun club also in the middle of Calgary. So those are the news. So but basically this, I know this time of the year is going to be dead for work, for, you know, freight brokerage, trucking, because of all these kind of like double holidays, right? Like Canada Day in Canada and July 4th, Independence Day in the States. Like this whole week is going to be shot, you know. There's not going to be any work for trucking or freight. So that's it. That's my update. Enjoy your coming weekend, Independence Day in the US and Canada Day in Canada. Captain Sergei out.